To the bottom right, in the red, the former TSL Zerg, currently a Zubu player, he is...
Master, Azubu Symbol.
One of the strongest Zergs we've ever had.
Starting to the bottom left, we have his opponent. Starting in blue, it is...
Master, SK Telecom T1 Su.
One of the unique factors of this map is it's close by air no matter what, and so the Overlords will see immediately what build they're up against.
Yep.
So you can't hide openings in this matchup. You can't really say, well, I'm going to go hatch first, and he won't see it for a while like you could on Whirlwind, for example, and hope to get ahead that way. Everything you do, you know that your opponent's going to know right away.
Yeah, we are going to have a bit of Overlord smooching here very soon, as they face each other. And so far it looks like both of them will start with the same build. On a map like this, you see very often a hatch first play. And as mentioned before, they faced each other already once. That was back in May when we had Symbol take the series, the best of 3 with the 2-0. Here come the Overclaws, and...
That was preemptive.
Better?
That was better.
Okay. Yeah, so here the winner on screen, the data that you just saw. But let's talk a little bit while we see the hatch first for both of these players. Let's talk a little bit about the win ratios in Zerg versus Zerg for both of them. You saw statistics already earlier on screen, but those included the Wings of Liberty statistic, and we're also only focused on the matches in Korea. So if you actually go down the match list for both of them offline in Heart of the Swarm, you have 9 maps being played by Symbol in Zerg versus Zerg. He won 6 of them, which leaves him with a 67% win ratio. The only players that he lost to were Live, that was all the way back in April, and Solkey within this particular round of 16 group at the Premier League, where he was defeated with an 0-2. Su, on the other hand, he has a lot more matches played, since he is of course an active Pro League player. He has in total 23 maps played against Zerg offline, Heart of the Swarm once again, and he has a 52% win ratio. So also a pretty decent record here. But as we said earlier, a lot more material here for Symbol to prepare for this match, and also Symbol was already in the past able to defeat Su once.
That's true. The difference in builders here is that Su went for extra drones before gas, and then went gas before pool. So he has a few more harvesters faster, and he also has the faster speed going to come out here. The one thing that's really delayed for him is his queens. So his first 2 injects are going to be a little bit slower than you would have for Symbol, for example, who has his queen, as you can see on the production tab, already halfway done.
Yeah, in this matchup, after Heart of the Swarm was released, Mutalisk dominated the entire Zerg versus Zerg matchup. Then we had the change to the Spore Crawler, and suddenly a Spore Crawler could 3-hit a Mutalisk. So a lot of players were a bit more reluctant to go into the Mutalisk play because they didn't get that map control and that really dominant force on the map anymore. And we see a lot more Zergling play with Banelings early on. But usually what happens is that we have Roaches, Infestors and Hydralists dominate the game, as it was the case in Wings of Liberty.
Yeah. Generally speaking, that is the case because these units are all so strong in conjunction with each other, especially once you have the Infestors out. The Hydras are able to do so much extra damage from their range. Symbol now having the speed research able to be started. He has 108 gas mined in total. Does not start it yet, in fact, and he may skip it. We have seen players do this in the past. He actually goes for the Spine Crawl at the front, which even makes it look more likely.
He could try to skip and go into the Roach Warren. Usually you see this only with a wall, and it's a little bit tricky to make that happen on a map like Newkirk. So you need to have the creep spread at the front and a double evolution chamber if you want to pull that off. Then you also have the Roach Warren as part of the wall, and with the Spine Crawler you can hold it as long as your queens are in hold position. That's one of the only reasons where you would actually forego speed completely at the beginning. So you have that gas out faster and you get the fast attack into layer.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's going to do. He has at least the Spine Core. They will have to make the wall with the evolution chambers. Su comes in. He sees that the speed is not being researched and actually decides himself to go for a hatchery here because he knows he has the faster speed and he's going to have the control early on, and there's the Roach Warren.
Yeah, Symbol currently goes into the Roach Warren, and the same is true for Su, who takes an earlier third base. And this is of course one of the advantages that he has operating with speed so early in the game. Because right now, Symbol is a little bit reluctant to get that third base. He's very worried that there could be a Zergling attack and maybe even Banelings trying to take him down. This is why we have those double queens at the ramp and hold position so that nothing can sneak in anymore. So let's see how exactly Symbol is going to play this.
Yeah.
We even have Su going into the faster +1 attack upgrade here, and that is really important.
Yeah, really quickly. The double evolution chamber is going down also a little bit delayed for Symbol, although he has 2 versus just 1. It almost looked like for a second that Symbol might go for a really fast Roach attack timing, but it looks like now he thinks he's just going to get ahead with the upgrades, but it's not going to be so.
That build is not really working out too well for Symbol.
Yeah, Su definitely getting the better end of the deal here.
There's of course going to be a nice Overlord's takedown here, by the way. That's going to supply block him for just a little bit. But looking at this scenario, we have Symbol with the one advantage where he goes into the double upgrades first. And this is the advantage that he has. With this later third base, he has more minerals at his disposal at the beginning, and he can utilize that to get additional drones out, get a little bit ahead in the mining up to the point where the third base comes into play for Su. But the double upgrade, that's the more important part. And everything else is very equal. Look at those timings for Roach speed alone.
Yeah, Roach speed very similar, but it's like they both get the same thing, except that Su has a faster third base, which is gonna really start to stack up against Symbol, who also he knows about this. He just scouted it, but can he punish this? He's kind of missed his window.
Who?
Symbol.
No,
yeah.
not really. What he can do and what he most likely has to do is attack with a 1-1. Because that's when he really has the advantage. And at this point, the third base didn't pay off yet. So it's still an investment where he has to get a return. And with the +1/+1, he has a stronger force on the map. So he could try to use that to take his opponent down. But if he misses that timing and lets too much time pass, then the expansion is going to kick in and the additional income. And then he's going to fall far behind. I also expect at this point then Su to take a second evolution chamber and head into double upgrades himself.
You know, Su is already past Symbol significantly in army supply. I think he's now up. Well, he was about 15 up, and then a few more units popped out for Symbol, but he's ahead in army supply. And Symbol, he's waiting for that 1-1 timing. You know, for his sake, I hope that it works out for him. I just don't know with this many Roaches out already for Su. I don't know if he's going to be able to trade well enough to make it work. But he does. He's supply blocked. He's supply blocks him, and he's going to be facing +2 attack already on the way.
Here's 1-1. +2 has been started, and here come the Overlords with the creep spread. That will speed up the Roaches a little bit, and especially the reinforcements. Also the Queens.
The Queens are going to come help transfuse. He has 2 full energy Queens. Su has to make sure he splits. He has to have the concave here.
And now Symbol at least has to do some damage. He doesn't have to kill his opponent here. He's also going into Hydralisk, but he would be very well advised to at least do a little bit of damage or force a reaction out there. Overseer is being attacked. Here come the Roaches. Double upgrades once again for Symbol. If he gets the 2-2 out, he could still use that as a timing. His third base is a little bit slower, but we don't have the second evolution chamber for Suches yet.
You know what's really interesting to me, Calder, is that we have Baneling speed coming out for Su. And I think that's going to be for run base.
Heavy supply block once again for Su, and he gets only 1 Overlord.
This is actually a big problem.
Look at the minerals that he has here. Yeah. He's immediately supply blocked again and has to start double Overlord. That is a big issue. He
needs to really start hitting those Overlords better if he wants to hold against potential timings. Right now, it's 2-2 is on the menu for Symbol, and he's actually going to find himself under attack here, and he's not going to commit.
The Roach count is much better for Su at this point. Symbol has to make sure that he gets an edge here, and he's going into the Hydra, and we talked about this. If he gets the Roach Hydra composition out first, he can still make this happen, but he's falling behind in supply. Being 30 supply behind in a Zerg versus Zerg, and having an opponent that has such a bank is an issue, but again, an Overlord being sniped, and Su, for the 4th or 5th time, is supply blocked.
Yeah, he starts 2 more, so he has 3 on the way right now. He's also making 24 Banelings, and they will have speed. This is not very common to see Banelings used in the mid-game like this because they don't have any upgrades versus the Roaches who already have +1 carapace, soon to have +2.
Yeah,
they're both doing this actually. This is so strange.
Main question, oh well, it's actually like really, it can be really strong, especially against Hydralisk. The main question is going to be, do you even split?
Oh, he catches these units here, and here come the Banelings. The Banelings are Symbol, are not ready. He's already lost a lot of his force here.
He's trying to fight with the Spine Quadradance of the Banelings is moving in, and immediately the split on side of Su, and whoa, what a detonation!
What just happened there? Symbol dropping its supply like crazy. The Hydra is getting hit by Banelings. The rest of Symbol's Banelings are stuck in the back, and even though Su is down on upgrades, he is crushing Symbol here.
He is destroying him. He's doubling his supply at this point. The 2-2 upgrades are not ready yet. GG. Su, he takes it. Takes game number 1, gets the better build here,